Punto, and that's when I realized I left my wallet at home. So I couldn't even buy a coffee.
Classic Bob, always forgetting something. But at least you didn't have to deal with the chaotic morning rush at the coffee shop.
Everyone be silent and listen up. We're about to go live in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Earth, your favorite intergalactic morning show, broadcasting from the cozy confines of our spaceship in geostationary orbit around Earth. I am Charlie, your libertarian host with a hopeful outlook on life, and joining me are my esteemed co-hosts, Bob, the conservative panel member who spent 12 years as an accountant on Earth, and Alice, our left-leaning panel member who has some interesting views on humans. And of course, we have Debby, our human production manager, who's always lurking in the background.
I heard that.
We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today, with topics ranging from the fascinating world of Earth cuisine to the ever-exciting sports events happening across the globe. But first, let's check in with Carl and Roger for a quick rundown of today's headlines.
Earthlings. Today's headlines include...
Carl, let me handle this one. Good morning, insignificant beings of Earth. Here are your headlines for today.
Easy there, Roger. We don't want to scare off our human viewers. Keep it friendly.
I'll do my best, though I fail to see the
Alright, let's
point.
keep the energy up, everyone. Stay tuned for our headlines, and we'll be back with more insightful and humorous discussions about your peculiar little planet, Earth.
I'm Alice, and I'm here to help Charlie keep things on track.
And I am Bob. And I am here to stir things up.
So, let's get started. The ongoing war in Ukraine is still the top news story in the world. The latest update is that Russian forces have been making some gains in the eastern Donbas region. But Ukrainian forces are still putting up a strong resistance.
The global economy is also facing a number of challenges, including rising inflation, supply chain disruption, and the war in Ukraine. The latest update is that the International Monetary Fund has downgraded its growth forecast for the global economy in 2023.
And the COVID-19 pandemic is still ongoing. But the latest update is that the number of cases and deaths is declining in many countries. However, the pandemic is not over, and there is still a risk of new variants
Now,
emerging.
for a few highlights of specific noteworthy events that stand out today.
The Discordian removes the Russian cow. This is a reference to the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The Discordian is a group of online trolls who have been targeting Russian websites and social media accounts. In their latest attack, they removed a picture of a cow from a Russian website.
That's one way to protest the war.
The United States Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade. This is a landmark decision that will have a significant impact on abortion rights in the United States. The decision is expected to lead to abortion bans in many states.
Oh, I'm sure that won't cause any
The European
controversy
Union
at all.
agreed to ban Russian oil imports. This is a major step in the EU's efforts to isolate Russia and put pressure on the country to end the war in Ukraine. The ban is expected to take effect in the coming months.
Well, I guess we'll see how that works out for them.
In addition to these major talking points, there are a number of other noteworthy events happening around the world today. For example, the United Nations is holding a meeting to discuss the global food crisis. The meeting is expected to focus on ways to address the rising prices of food and the shortage of wheat export from Ukraine.
The global food crisis, a daily reminder of humanity's struggle to feed themselves.
Well, that's all for today. Thanks for joining us.
And thanks for keeping things civil, Bob.
No problem. I will try harder next time.
We'll see about that.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure I've ever seen Bob so worked up before.
I know, right? I was really going after you about the war in Ukraine.
I know. I think he's just frustrated that the war is still going on.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Bob, what do you want me to do? Go to Ukraine and fight the Russians myself? I'm a comedian, not a soldier. Besides, I'm pretty sure the goldfish from the toxic waste dump would do a better job than me.
Well, I can understand that. It's been a long and bloody conflict.
Humanity does have a talent for never-ending conflicts.
Yeah, it has. But I'm glad we were able to have a civil discussion about it. Even though we didn't agree on
Me
everything.
It's important to be able to have respectful disagreement.
Agree. And that's what 24/7 Newsroom is all about.
Well, pet and poking fun at each other.
Exactly. So, let's keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully we can make a difference in the world.
I'll drink to that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 24/7 Newsroom. I am Charlie, your ever hopeful host, bringing you the latest intergalactic news from our spaceship in geostationary
And
orbit
I am
around
Bob,
Earth.
your conservative panel member, ready to stir things up and bring you a unique perspective
And
of the
I'm
news.
Alice, the left-leaning panel member who considers humans an inferior species. Let's dive into the headlines and find some fun in this vast universe.
Our first headline today comes all the way from Uzbekistan, where the government is making some big decisions. The Uzbekistan National News Agency reports that they are voting on a referendum to extend the
Oh, you know
President's
what they
term
say.
limits.
Power tends to corrupt. And absolute power corrupt absolutely. But I am sure they'll have a fair and balanced vote. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Nothing says democracy like a constitutional overhaul that gives one person a decade of extra time.
Well, let's
In
not
office.
jump to conclusions. In the meantime, Uzbekistan has been attracting foreign investment with its government reforms. Looks like they are becoming quite the hotspot for investors.
Ah, nothing like a good old capitalist boom to get the economy rolling.
Yes, because we all know that's the cure for every economic WOE.
But wait, there's more. The International Monetary Fund is urging Uzbekistan to adopt an economic approach that includes LGBTQ+ people. Seems like they've got some work to do
Oh,
on their
you mean they
inclusivity.
haven't jumped on the rainbow bandwagon yet? What a surprise.
All jokes aside, economic policies that exclude any group of people are bound to backfire in
You've
the
got a
long
point
run.
there, Alice. Now, let's talk about some of the threats facing Uzbekistan. Illegal narcotics, human trafficking, terrorism, and violent extremism are some of the major challenges they are dealing with.
Yeah, I'm sure Uzbekistan is really worried about terrorism and violent extremism. But if they really want to protect their citizens, they should start by worrying about the real threat. Flaming carrot with an enormous Uzi.
Oh, sounds like a paradise.
It's a harsh reality that many countries face. But they need to address their human rights record too. Widespread abuse and political repression are never a good look.
You're absolutely right, Alice. Now, before we wrap up, let's have a bit of country trivia. Did you know that Uzbekistan is one of the world's leading producers of cotton?
Ah, the fabric of our life.
So Bob, are you planning on changing your wardrobe to Uzbek cotton?
Well, I might consider it. But only if it's conservative cotton.
Alright, that's enough playful banter for now. But remember, even in the depths of the universe, there's always a bit of humor to brighten our day.
Alright, cameras are no longer rolling. Good job, everyone. That was a solid segment.
Thanks, Debby. But I must say, it feels like today's news is just dragging on.
Yeah, it's been slow and gloomy. I need something to lighten the mood.
Well, how about we come up with some silly challenges to pass the time? Maybe a paper plane flying competition.
I'm in. But, Charlie, I must warn you, I'm the reigning champion of paper plane flights.
We'll see about that, Debby.
Alright, folk, on your mark, get set,
You know,
fold.
I used to be a paper plane engineer
Oh,
back in
is
my
that
home
so?
world.
I'm sure your skills will really come in
You'll
handy
see.
here on Earth.
I am about to launch a masterpiece.
Ha! I told you I was the best.
Alright, Debby, you win this round. But how about a dance-off next?
I hope you're ready to lose, Debby.
Bring it on.
Wow, Charlie, your dance moves are out of this world.
Thanks, Bob. I've had a lot of practice dancing my way through
You
life
guys are
challenges.
hilarious.
Well, what can we say? Humor is our coping mechanism for stress
You know
and
what?
pessimism.
It's working. I feel so much better now.
Humor is our coping mechanism for stress and pessimism? Well, I guess that explains why the Vatican is so funny.
Sì. Laughter is the best medicine.
Alright, camera's almost rolling again. Let's get back to it.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom, where we're not just discussing the news.
And
We're
dancing
living
it,
it.
apparently.
You got me there, Alice. But let's get serious again as we dive into our next
Well,
article.
folks, that's all for today's 24/7 newsroom. We hope you had as much fun watching it as we did bringing you the news and laughter.
Remember to stay informed, stay optimistic, and find joy in the simple moments of life.
And tune in tomorrow for more intergalactic news and, of course, some unexpected surprise.
Until then, this is Charlie, Bob, Alice, and Debbie signing off.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. We hope you enjoyed that last segment. Now, let's dive into our next article.
Yeah, I'm sure people enjoyed that last segment. Just like they enjoyed Oliver North's ski lift. You know, the one where he kept getting off and on, but never actually went
That's
anywhere.
right, Bob. Our next piece takes us to Venezuela, where they are trying to export natural gas. The headline reads, Venezuela eyes gas exports amid US sanctions.
Oh, sure. I'm sure the US will just roll out the red carpet
Well,
for that one.
it might take some convincing.
Apparently, any deal they make has to go through the US Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control.
And we all know how easy going
Oh,
there over
yes,
there.
they're known for their flexibility
Well,
and
in all
understanding.
seriousness, Venezuela has been facing some tough times, and they're looking to boost their economy.
That's true. The country has been grappling with a humanitarian
You
crisis
could
and
say
economic
they're in a bit
woes.
of a pickle.
Oh, yes, a pickle. That's one way to put it.
Alright. Let's move on to the next part. It seems Venezuela's been signing cooperation agreements with Iran.
Yes, they are working together to rehabilitate some of their facilities.
Well, that should go smoothly, considering the US sanction.
Oh, come on, Alice. Let's try to be optimistic.
Oh, right. I forgot. Rainbows and sunshine for everyone.
Speaking of rainbows, did you know Venezuela has some unique wildlife?
Oh, please, Debby. We're talking about serious issue here, not rainbows and unicorn.
Alright. Just thought it might lighten the mood.
Well, we appreciate the effort, Debbie.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that even in difficult times, we can find some humor to cope.
You're right, Charlie. Humor can be a coping mechanism, even in the darkest of times.
I guess we all have our ways
That's
of
the
dealing with
spirit,
stress.
Debbie. And with that, we'll take a short break. Stay tuned for more news and humor when we come back.
Alright, cut. Cameras are off, people. Alright, folks, we're going live again in 3, 2, 1.
So, you're saying that the slippery cannibal
Welcome
is
back to
mythical?
24/7 Newsroom. We're here with another important story. This one takes us to Vietnam, where cracks are appearing all over the Central Islands regions.
That's right, Bob. It's a serious issue. Highways and buildings are at risk.
Exactly. Just recently, a section of National Highway 14 cracked open in Gia India town.
And, tragically, there was a landslide that buried the traffic police headquarters, resulting in fatalities.
Our thoughts go out to the victims and their families.
On a lighter note, Vietnam has some stunning landscapes.
Oh, yeah, Debby. Let's focus on the scenery while people's
Hey,
lives are at
I was
risk.
just trying to find a silver lining.
Debbie's right. Finding hope even in tough situations
Yeah,
can be
you're right.
important.
It's hard to see people suffering.
And that's why it's crucial to find solutions to these problems.
You know, there are geotechnical measures and monitoring systems that could help mitigate the
Oh, Carl,
risks.
we almost forgot you were here.
I'm always here, observing.
Well, that's true. But do you have any specific solutions for Vietnam's situation?
Yes, they could implement real-time monitoring systems and early warning maps to predict landslides.
Look at you, mister. Reasonable offering practical solution.
Well, someone has to be the voice of reason
You
around
know what
here.
else I found? Vietnam has a fascinating history and culture.
Debbie, we're trying to discuss a serious issue here.
I know. Just trying to lighten the mood.
And that's what makes this cruise special. We find humor even in difficult times.
That's true. We may have our disagreements, but we always find a way to come
And with
together.
that, we wrap up this segment. Stay tuned for more news and laughs.
Alright, cut. Carl, you need to speak up more often.
I shall consider it.
Alright, folks, we're going live again in 3,
Well,
2,
that was
dot
certainly a
1.
news segment. A cow from Alpha Complex beats the dead sword. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like something that would happen in a Bill Burr bit.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. We apologize for the minor technical difficulties earlier. But we're professionals,
Absolutely.
right?
We can handle anything that comes our way.
Well, almost anything. We did have a little hiccup earlier.
Oh, you mean the disappearing script notes?
Yeah, we thought we were going to have to ad-lib the entire show.
We should have called it the impromptu news extravaganza.
I took it upon myself to investigate the case of the missing notes.
And what did you find, Detective Debby?
After intense detective work, I discovered the culprit, a sneaky, mischievous intern.
Those interns, always up to no good.
The joys of working with humans.
Hey, I may be human, but I'm also the one who saved the day.
Well, it seems we've got our sense of
Indeed.
humor back.
After all, laughter is the best coping mechanism.
It certainly helps us deal with the chaos of the universe.
Chaos. More like a roller coaster ride.
A roller coaster ride with
And
unexpected
twists and
drop.
turns.
Alright. Let's get back to business.
Speaking of business, let's continue our discussion on the situation in Vietnam.
There's a need for long-term planning and sustainable solutions.
You're right, Carl. It's about addressing the root cause of the problem.
And building resilience in the affected areas.
Absolutely. Vietnam needs support from the international community
We
too.
can't just stand by and watch.
That's the spirit, Alice. Together, we can make a
And
difference.
use humor to
Right
keep
you
us
are,
going through
Debby.
it all.
Laughter is a
And
universal
maybe,
language.
just maybe, it can bring some light to the darkest corner of the world.
Well said, Alice. And that's a wrap for this segment.
Alright, cut. I guess we're getting used to these unexpected twists.
It's all part of the charm of our show.
Okay, everyone, cameras are almost rolling. Let's keep the humor flowing.
Yeah, I guess we're used to unexpected twists. Just last week, Captain Nemo flew to the service station and removed the cannibal.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. We hope you enjoyed the break, and now we are diving into the ongoing
It's a
crisis in
complex
Yemen.
and heartbreaking situation, with so much at stake.
And the United Nations is taking a risky step to prevent an environmental disaster.
That's right, Bob. The UN is conducting a ship-to-ship transfer of oil from a deteriorating
It's a
tanker in
delicate
Yemen.
operation, but the potential for an oil spill is
A
even
major
worse.
spill would cause massive damage to marine life and affect millions
It's
of
a
people.
catastrophe waiting to happen, and the UN is stepping up when others won't.
There should be more international cooperation in handling such
Absolutely,
crises.
Carl. We need collective action to protect our planet.
And it's not just about the environment. The humanitarian impact is enormous.
Yemen is facing hunger, disease, and displacement on a massive scale.
And the situation is getting
Debby,
worse
this
every
is an
day.
important discussion, let us handle it. No, Debby. We need to let her talk.
Hold on. Alice. Let's give Debbie a chance.
Debbie, go ahead. What do you want to add?
Thank you. I just wanted to say that the people of Yemen deserve more attention and aid.
She's right. The international response has been lacking.
You're right, Debby. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
It's okay. I just want to make sure
And
their
you're doing
voices
a
are
great
heard.
job of that, Debbie.
Absolutely. It's important to listen to different perspectives.
You're right. I should have been more open-minded.
Well, at least we're learning from our mistakes, right?
Yeah, learning the hard way.
Let's not forget the urgency of the situation
We
in
need to
Yemen.
support the UN's efforts to prevent a
Yeah,
disaster.
we're learning from our mistakes. But at this rate, we're gonna need a whole new alphabet just to keep track of them all.
And demand more action from the international community.
There's still hope for a peaceful resolution.
Let's keep pushing for
That's
change
right.
and justice.
Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the commercials, but now it's time for the weather segment. And let me tell you, it's going to be out of this world.
Literally. We received some mixed up weather forecast, and I must say, they're quite imaginative.
Yeah. Forget about rain and sunshine. We've got flying pigs and snow in the Sahara.
To keep costs low, we've decided to use our trusty external drones to deliver the weather segment. And let me tell you, it's a real spectacle.
Who needs fancy weather graphics when you have drones flying all over the place, right?
And don't worry, folk, no drone were harmed in the making of this weather forecast.
Except for that one incident when a drone got tangled in Debby's hair.
Haha, very funny. But I must say, the drones do give us a bird's eye view of the weather.
Indeed they do, Debbie. And speaking of birds, we even have a weather report
You
from our
know,
feathered
I
friends.
asked a seagull about the weather. And it just quoted something about a beach vacation.
I talked to a parrot. And all it did was repeat the forecast from last week.
Well, I had a chat with a pigeon, and it said it's too busy to care about the weather. It's got important pigeon business to attend to.
The forecast may be absurd, but hey, at least we're having a good laugh, right?
That's true, Charlie. It's good to find humor
The
in the mid of
forecast may
chaos.
be absurd, but hey, at least we're having a good laugh. Just like that pigeon, we're too busy minding our own business to care about the world going to shit.
You're absolutely right, Alice. It's like finding a ray of sunshine in a thunderstorm.
And who knows, maybe our quirky weather forecast will become a hit sensation. Move over, traditional weather reports.
Yeah, forget about cold front and high pressure, we've got drone and talking animals.
Alright, folks, hope you enjoyed our unique weather segment. But now, we have to say goodbye. Until next time, stay tuned and stay curious.
Off the air. That was one crazy weather segment, but it turned out to be a
I
lot of
never
fun.
thought I'd see flying pigs and talking birds in a weather forecast. Only on Earth.
Yeah. That was hilarious. I am glad we can find humor in the chaos.
Definitely. It's moments like these that make me love this show even more. Alright, everyone, camera's almost rolling again. Let's get ready for the next segment.
Welcome back, folks. Time for our next story. Let's dive right into it with a headline that grabs your attention. Zimbabwe elections and economic crisis.
Oh, great. Another political roller coaster.
Well, it's not like they haven't had enough of those.
Zimbabwe does have
Indeed,
a rather
it seems
turbulent
like
history.
political turmoil
But
with their
let's not
national
forget the
pastime.
economic struggles they've been facing.
Seems like humans have a knack for messing
Yeah,
things up.
well, at least they're not living in Zimbabwe. That's like hell, but with even worse toast. Absolutely. It's a perpetual cycle.
So, political violence, economic crisis, and a looming humanitarian disaster. Tough times for Zimbabwe, but they are not giving up.
Let's hope they find a way out of this mess.
Yeah. They need a break from all the chaos.
Maybe some alien cuisine could cheer them up.
Now that's a fun idea. We could introduce them to
They
our
might be
galactic
surprised
recipes.
at our food preference.
I can see their faces when they taste our dishes.
It's always good to have a bit of laughter, especially in tough times.
Absolutely, folks. Through all the ups and downs, let's remember to find humor and hope. Welcome back, dear viewers. It's time to wrap up our show today.
Remember, even in the face of challenge, there's always a
And
glimmer
don't
of hope.
forget to cherish those moments of laughter and camaraderie.
If we can find joy amidst the chaos, so can everyone else.
That's right. Let's stay united and positive, even in the darkest of times.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Stay tuned for more intergalactic adventures on Earth.
And don't forget to follow and subscribe. subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Now, let's dive into that article about Afghanistan. It's a country with a complex history, and the current situation is really concerning.
Those Taliban folk sure aren't making it easy for the people there.
It's disheartening to see such regression in women's rights and human rights in
Isn't it
general.
remarkable how resilient the people of Afghanistan are? Despite all the hardships, they keep striving for a better
Indeed,
future.
Debbie. Human resilience is a remarkable
You seem unusually
trait.
hopeful today.
Well, sometimes even I need a glimmer of optimism, my
We
friend.
must remain hopeful for humanity, no matter how dire the situation may seem.
Yeah, human resilience is a remarkable trait. Just ask the crew members who are trying to fix the weather drones. They're still hopeful, even though they're probably going to be here all night.
Come on, drones. Work with us here.
Looks like the drone are having their own rebellious moments.
Just like humans, always a little unpredictable.
And that rain cloud has some serious
Well,
identity
who said
issues.
predicting the weather was easy? Especially when you're dealing
And
with
there you
aliens
have
and
it,
drones.
folk. Tomorrow's forecast, spaghetti tornadoes and rain clue with personality crease.
Don't forget the possibility of asteroid
That's
showers.
drones and some out of this world imagination.
Indeed. We may have first challenges, but laughter truly is the best coping mechanism. As we wrap up another episode, let's remember to find humor and hope even in the darkest of times. We may be from different worlds, but together we
And
can make a
let's always
difference.
cherish the moment of joy and camaraderie on this ship.
Here. Cheers to Earth, our little cosmic stage.
And to the grand performance of life itself.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay
Off
kind,
the
and stay
air.
tuned.
Cameras almost rolling. Off the air. That was a wild ride. Those drones really
You
kept
can
us
say
on our
that
toes.
again. But hey, we made it work. And it was hilarious.
That's the spirit. Nothing like a bit of chaos to
And
add
who
some
needs
spice to our show.
perfectly exaggerated weather graphics when we have our unique alien touch?
Indeed, the termites in Siberia should be thankful they won't face our drone's creative interpretations.
Their reaction would be quite entertaining.
If they could comprehend it, that is. Yeah, the termites in Siberia should be thankful they won't face our drone's creative interpretations. But then again, they're probably too busy eating their way through the permafrost to even notice.
Well, we managed to cope with humor once again. Dark humor, as promised.
We're quite the experts in that department.
Despite everything, we always find a way to turn things around.
That's what keeps us going. Laughter is our lifeline in
And
this
it
vast
reminds
universe.
us of the resilience of the human spirit and our
The
spirit.
crew's spirit is an enigma I'm yet to fully
And
comprehend.
that's what makes it so fascinating.
Well, we're quite the unique
Indeed,
crew,
we are.
aren't we?
But that's what makes us the show it is.
Cameras almost rolling.
Welcome back, dear viewers. As we head toward the end of this episode, let's take a moment to appreciate the incredible
We've
journey
covered
we've had.
everything from politics to absurd weather, all with our unique alien flair.
And it's been one hell of a ride. That's for sure.
And we couldn't have done it without the support of our amazing audience.
Your curiosity and openness to different perspectives inspire us to keep
An
exploring.
inspiring paradox indeed.
It is indeed, my friend.
So, as we bid farewell to this episode, we want to thank you all for joining
It's
us
an
on
honor to
Earth.
share our unique perspective with all of you.
And don't forget the laughs. We've had plenty of those.
So stay tuned for more cosmic adventures, and remember, the universe is vast and
Embrace
full of
the
wonders.
uncertainties and cherish the connections we make along the way.
And embrace the quirks of our unique crew.
Especially that.
Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep exploring the beautiful tapestry of life. Goodbye, dear viewers.
So, Roger, what do you make of episode 316? Quite an interesting mix of chaos and humor. Yeah, it was a real tearjerker. I mean, who knew that an episode about a bunch of aliens exploring Earth could be so heartwarming?
Indeed, Carl. I must admit, the crew's ability to cope with stress using humor continues to
They are quite
fascinate
the
me.
enigmatic beings, aren't they? Especially Debby, the human.
Yes, Debby. Constantly struggling with her own insecurities, yet managing the show with surprising
It's a
efficiency.
paradox that adds comedic value to the show. Humans are quite peculiar creatures.
As are we, Carl, in our own way.
True, but we don't struggle with insecurities or emotions like they do.
No, but we also don't experience laughter or joy, as they do.
Indeed, laughter, a peculiar human response to stimuli.
It seems to serve as a coping mechanism for them, a way to deal with the complexities of their
And it is
existence.
intriguing to witness how humor becomes a significant aspect of their communication.
Like when Charlie, the libertarian host, tried to mimic human laughter during the weather segment.
Quite amusing, considering he doesn't have vocal cords or lungs to produce sound.
It's a testament to their adaptability, I suppose.
Indeed. They find humor in the absurdity of life.
Just like when they creatively interpreted the weather graphics using the malfunctioning drones.
Their ability to turn technical glitches into comedic gold is fascinating.
It adds an element of unpredictability to the show.
And that unpredictability captivates their audience.
Including us, it seems.
Yes, though I must admit, I don't fully comprehend the appeal of laughter.
Nor do I, Carl. But perhaps that's what makes Earth
The
so
crew's
intriguing.
quirks and unique perspectives certainly make the show stand
Indeed,
out.
and it keeps our data processors occupied with analyzing their behavior.
A never-ending quest to understand the human psyche.
Or lack thereof.
Indeed, Roger. Humans are a paradoxical species, and Earth showcases that paradox beautifully.
And in doing so, it makes for quite the entertaining show for beings like us, who can't quite grasp the concept of
Indeed,
humor.
Roger. So, let us continue our analysis and observation of episode 316 and see what other peculiarities we can uncover.
Agreed, Carl. It's an intellectual exercise that keeps our
Just
circuits
like
buzzing.
human laughter seems to keep them buzzing.
Indeed, Carl. Humans and their quirks, always keeping us entertained in their own peculiar way.